Alright guys, welcome back to Strong Successful Male. So for today in the Ask SSM video series, got an email from a guy. He's a young viewer. He sounds like he is about early to mid-20s. He is either in the military and out temporarily, or he is ex-military. And he's pretty much looking for my advice, as well as you guys, on how to get over this total 304, and you know what I mean by that he's built up an attachment to. And you're going to see in this story, guys, that he met her while he was deployed in Afghanistan. She was also in the military, an army chick, which we all know to avoid like the plague, and now he knows that. And because she was hot, he put her on a pedestal, just like so many guys do, kissed her butt, acted like a fan, and she treated him like one. And pretty much whenever she wanted him, to talk about things that are bothering her, to be her therapist, he would be at her beck and call. And occasionally she'd hook up with him. And he essentially thought of her, or saw her, like as a girlfriend, and she saw him as just a play toy, right? But the thing is, the guy can't get over her. He's come back to the States, and she's always in and out of his life, right? She'll contact him out of nowhere, and of course he'll talk to her because he's built up an attachment. And he's looking for help, guys, on how to, even though he knows that she's a piece of garbage, he can't quite get rid of her, because he's attached to her. And I don't think there's any guy watching this, including me, that hasn't had at least one gal when they were younger that for whatever reason, even though you knew she was trouble, right? Kind of like girls with the bad boy thing, you still kept taking her back, right? And you built up an attachment. And this guy's looking for help to get rid of that. Now, I want to mention that he has, I want to say recently, but not too long ago, found RP content, and he's been watching all my videos as well as other channels, it sounds like, and so he's really improved. He's on the path to really seeing things as they are, not the way they portray them in movies and all that. And he's really hoping that he doesn't make the same mistake again, because he knows her track record that eventually she'll come back, and he doesn't make the mistake again and get his heart ripped out. So anyhow, I've gone on long enough here. I'm going to go through his story here, guys, point out some obvious things along the way, and then give him some advice. And hopefully you guys will comment away as well. Make sure this guy, another brother, doesn't fall trapped to one of these harpies. So he starts off, he says, "Good day, SSM. I hope this message finds you well. Sadly, I do not have a major story to share, mostly an inquiry and seeking your advice, and similarly to ask your SSM segments. I've been watching your videos for a couple months now, and actually was mainly subscribed to your other channel, They Did What. I've been binging practically every video since on both channels. The main reason I'm reaching out is despite taking all your advice to heart, I'm still having trouble recovering from one woman in particular, and believe I'm suffering from a severe case of the oneitis." If you guys don't know what oneitis is, it means that nonsense idea that there's one girl for you. The bullshit bullshit narrative they put in all the movies and TV. There's that one girl for you, and the 8 billion people on the planet, or whatever close number we are to that, she's for you. And when you meet her, you do everything to get her and hold on to her and treat her like the queen. And when you first meet, your eyes are going to lock, and it'll be like fireworks are going off and animals are going to be singing, and this is ridiculous. There are plenty of gals out there that you can click with and have a good time with. But the guys think that she's the one, and then they just make themselves complete fools of themselves to get the girl to have them, and it never works out right. Okay, there you go. Says a bit about me. I was on an active duty military member deployed to Afghanistan a couple of years ago. While deployed, I met this girl we'll call Z, who I immediately placed on a pedestal due to her good looks. Z, huh? Is that short for Zoe? Because I never met a Zoe that wasn't trouble. The amount of stupidity I'd subject myself for this girl was devoid of any logic, and is something I hope you and the community could guide me in combating in the future. Okay, I'll make it real simple. Stop putting them on a pedestal. Stop kissing their ass. So what if she's hot? She's a pretty face. She's a pretty body. There are plenty of gals out there that have pretty faces and bodies. I know you're young. I know I'm like 2 decades older than you, but it's just a piece of ass. It's not worth making yourself look like a damn fool over, or spending all your money on, or getting your heart involved with to get disappointed. All right? I know. Believe me, there was a time and place people were telling me this shit when I was younger too. And you think I listened to them? No. I had to learn the hard way. Hopefully you listen to me. Anyway, he says here, Some examples of my stupidity are we were in what you could call a war zone, where anywhere you traveled had the possibility of being fired upon at any moment by the bad guys. I'm going to watch what I say here. So you had to carry your rifle with you at all times. Despite this, I'd agree to walk with her to the base gym, which is about a block away in the dead of the night, or early mornings, where it was just the two of us, just to spend extra time with her. So potentially putting yourself in harm's way just so you can have an extra few minutes with the girl you had a crush on. Dude, I get that you're out there, and I get that your life is on the line and things are intense. Okay, let me rephrase it. I don't know what it's like to feel that way because I never served. Okay, and I respect you very much and thank you for your service. However, a young piece of ass isn't worth it, dude. She would also frequently ignore texts I sent and make false claims to be busy, then use me as an emotional crutch when she said she had a bad day, such as getting grilled by a supervisor. Her personality was that of a stern, uncaring brood who was full of herself, always rude, making snide remarks with a lack of respect for authority, which made me question why she was even in the military at all. So she's an a-hole, but she's hot. And because she's an a-hole, because she's hot, you put up with her a-hole ways. Here's a question. Based on the way you described her personality, if she wasn't that good looking, would you have anything to do with her? No, not at all. Of course you wouldn't. Let me tell you, I would any day of the week, if I had a choice between having a 9 or a 10 in the looks and body type department, and believe me, that's hot, but who had a rotten personality versus a gal who was like a 6, who was kind of cute, maybe could lose 10 pounds, a little extra junk in the trunk, but was fucking cool as hell and supportive and loyal, I'd take that 6 any day than one of these assholes. It's not worth it. She also seemed a bit bipolar. Well, that's trouble. One day being kind and generous, asking if I wanted to go for a jog, only to return to the uncaring brood who snap over the littlest things the next day. Eventually we returned home from deployment and she separated from the military, where she then ghosted me for months and I heard nothing from her, only to have her suddenly show up my local area and doorstep late one night. Long story short, due to her adamancy, we ended up hooking up, and then like a ghost, she disappeared from my life again. This kind of sounds like Forrest Gump, where Jenny would show up, be in Forrest's life for a little bit, he'd fall in love with her all over again, then she'd disappear. And then he'd move on, and then she'd show up. I'm not calling you Forrest Gump, bro, but you get my point here. But the thing is, when I'm picking up on this story, maybe some of you guys are, is that he saw her kind of like a girlfriend, while this guy to her was just her little play toy, her buddy to go talk about her damn problems with and go for a jog with, and occasionally when she needed some sausage would get, but and let me tell you something right now, she knew darn well this guy had feelings for her, but the problem was this thing was not, it wasn't even. He was way more into her than she is into him, and you look how you're treated. It's always better that the girl's way more into you and thinks that you're the prize and chasing after you than the other way around, because when guys behave like this, put her on the pedestal, chase after her, kiss her butt, be there at her beck and call, it doesn't end well for the guy. No gal is ever going to respect a guy who does things like this, who essentially is a doormat that she can have whenever she wants. She can treat them like crap, and they're still there to take more. I mean, it's not rocket science, guys. But a lot of guys have to experience that and in real life, real time to get that, or to hear stories like this to spell out to get that point. So I appreciate you sending this story, man. This will help some guys out. He says, I later found out that she attempted to hook up with another one of my friends that night who was on the same deployment, but he rejected her due to being in a relationship, and connecting the dots, I assumed that is when she ended up finding me. I assumed she knew I wouldn't say no since I was a good little simp and she needed her sausage fix. Well, at least, bro, you can admit. I respect that you can admit that you were behaving in that way. That shows you're on the path to recovery. But right there, she tried to hook up with one of your friends. What's it say about her? From there, I hope to forget about her and move on with my life. But one day she randomly popped up on social media and attempted to contact me. Of course she did. I blocked her, but it didn't last very long. I ended up reaching out to her, where she blocked me in turn. I also ended up begging for her attention, regrettably, and she never responded, which messed me up mentally for a while. Smack. No begging. Do you think that looks attractive? Do you think a man begging for a girl's attention or affection or whatever you want to call it is attractive to a woman? Hey, right now, to the 4% of women that watch me, 4% of women that are watching me, please comment to tell the guys, when guys act like that, begging and pleading and all that bullshit, it's a fucking turnoff. No begging, bros. No. And you should have blocked her a long time ago, but now you know. This ended up taking place at the beginning of 2021. Since then, I've made it my mission to work solely on myself, not focus on women, go hard in school and the gym while deep diving into the RP content. Good, brother, and I'm sure you are much better off now that you've done this. It's all been going well, primarily, but something that worries me, SSM, is something you always say in your videos. They always come back, guys, and the aspect of this worries me. Looking back, I have no idea what makes me so attracted to this girl and simp so hard. Well, they always come back, and you guys that watch regularly in these stories know this. And you guys have probably experienced this, where a girl breaks up with you, you think you're doing everything right, and she treats you like crap. She breaks up with you or cheats on you or some combination of that. You move on, and then she shows up again. They always come back. Now, they have not always very sincere reasons to come back, but they always come back. And a smart guy would cut off all ties with her and move on. And if he's in a particularly good mood, he might say, hey, nice to hear from you. I wish you all the best, but we're done. But a lot of you guys would pretty much tell the girl to F off, which she would certainly deserve. Despite this mistreatment, the unlikable personality and bad history, I still feel that tucked away inside of me is my white knight way, ready to leap at the chance if she were to ever come back. Brother, if you do that after all this shit, I'm going to track you down and I'm going to bitch slap you. No, do not talk to her, get back with her, any of that stuff. But she knows, and she will come back because she knows she can have you whenever she wants. So don't do that. I feel all the lessons I've learned from your videos, this shouldn't be possible, so I'm struggling to figure out why I'm so fixated on this one woman. More importantly, I'm trying to figure out how I can reaffirm myself to stay true to SSM mantra if she were ever to return. I feel like it's an odd situation where your gut and RP knowledge is telling you all you need to know, yet despite that, you're still wavering and can sense that a particular woman can make you slip or yank the white knight out of you again. Any advice would be appreciated. Thanks for all you do, SSM, and have a great day. Well, bro, I appreciate you writing this in because your situation is what a lot of guys go through. Again, they meet that one girl that even though they know in their mind she's trouble, she's jerking me around, she's pulling BS, the guys will make excuses for her actions. They'll think of anything they can to justify her actions of treating them like crap. You've all been through this, right? I've been through this too when I was younger and didn't know any better. And you make excuses for them. You don't want to actually say, she doesn't give a shit about me, she's being an a-hole, because that means you're a fool, right? And she'll keep doing it again and again until either one of two things happen. Either you wise up and tell her to F off, or she just disappears altogether. You never see her again and you get it over her. But in this situation, I'm telling you right now, bro, she will come back one day. So what do? Quite simply, keep doing what you've been doing. Focusing on yourself. Self-improvement. You said you're going to school, busting your butt. Cool. Keep going to school and doing well in school, whatever you're majoring in or whatever you're studying, whatever the hell it is, or whatever trade you're pursuing, I don't know what. Become the best you can be in that. Put all your time and energy in that. You said you're hitting the gym. Good. All military, both former and current, should be in damn good shape. Keep going to the gym, hitting the weights, do the cardio, stuff like that, hanging out with your bros, educating yourself on many things, especially this. And the more you are improving yourself, you're going to feel better about yourself. And that way then, if you ever get into a situation again with some girl that you really like starts jerking you around, because you feel so good about yourself, you're not going to tolerate this type of crap, okay? Because the only guys that tolerate being mistreated and being treated like a second-class citizen and friend zone and all that are guys that don't have a whole lot going on for them and have a low self-esteem, low self-worth. So if you start proving yourself, you're feeling good, you're not going to take that crap, okay? Now, you will be tested because eventually you're going to be dating other girls because you're a relationship type of guy, and obviously you want to get some ass every now and again, if I'm not mistaken, and you'll be tested. Because you know that white knight, that nice guy is just inside you, dying to come out and take over the whole system again. You can't let him. And by you improving yourself, feeling good, the likelihood of it happening becomes less and less as each day passes. And the more you watch content like mine, and I'm not the only game in town, there's other good channels you can learn from. I'm like the only business I'll recommend you go to other businesses, but I'm trying to help you guys out. So keep watching videos or listening to videos when you're in the car, at the gym, I don't know when you do it. And the more you hear these stories, and the more you recognize other dudes doing these things, you're going to hear these stories and be like, yeah, I did the same thing. And it will help you. And then you get to the point that you'll be able to spot a red flag a mile away, and this won't happen. But it's going to take time. But my recommendation is, if you haven't already, is yes, block her completely on all social media, email, text, and all that. Make it as difficult as possible for her to contact you. Now, you can't stop her from showing up at your freaking doorstep, but if she does, if she shows up at your doorstep, you look in that little peephole and see her standing there, just don't even respond. Let her walk away. Let her think you're not home, because I don't want you to make the mistake. And even if she shows up at that door and you see her there and she's got a six-pack of beer or a bottle of wine and she's wearing a trench coat, and you know darn well underneath that trench coat she's butt naked wearing a thong or something like that, if that were to happen, again, no, cut her off, because you know what's going to happen, okay? Don't let it happen. Move on. She's trouble. End of story. And in the future, if you find yourself when you're dating and meet some other hottie, and you find yourself that white knight in you trying to do the same crap that you did before, putting her on a pedestal, kissing her butt, being at her beck and call, all these things, bombarding her with chasing after her validation instead of her chasing your validation. When you start doing those things, I want you to think of all the pain you went through with her. I want you to think of these videos and things you've learned. And I want you to think of that if you pull this crap, I'm going to find you and smack you upside the head. Think of that. Think of your drill instructor. Think back to boot camp. Would you want to go redo boot camp again with all you went through? No. Would you want your drill instructor or drill sergeant, whatever they're called nowadays, screaming at you again? No. But I bet your drill instructor or drill sergeant would be tearing you a new one for acting like this in these types of ways. You don't want that to happen again. You don't want me yelling at you. So don't make the same mistakes twice. Or, well, not twice. You've been doing this a lot. Don't make them anymore. And you'll be fine. Because in time, you will get over her. And when you're ready, there's no rush, you'll eventually start dating again and hooking up and all that. And I might add that when you start doing that, then you'll definitely get over her, okay? But you're not alone. There isn't a guy watching this that has had attachment to some 304 that they know darn well is trouble, and they shouldn't, because she's hot, or she's got that perfect ass, or there's big tits, or whatever the hell it is. You know, you all know what I'm talking about. You know, I've been there. But you can't let it take everything over. It can't possess you. Because if they do, the same bullshit's going to happen again. So, bro, make me proud, make us proud, and you'll be all right. All right, guys, that's it for today. Be sure to comment down below. Let me know what you think about this. Let this guy know what you think. For all you guys out there that have been like him and been like me, that had that one chick they were attached to that you knew was trouble, let this guy know what you did to get over her. I don't care what you did. Well, as long as it's legal, what you did to get over her, let's hear about it. It'll help this guy out and other dudes out there that are dealing with the same freaking problem. And be sure to like the video, share with your friends, and subscribe. And I'll catch you next time.